I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry at all. I'm sorry you're not feeling good.
Oh, I don't know what happened. I I haven't felt like this way in a
Mm,
long time.
really? Oh.
Yeah, but we can just finish it and
Okay.
we're done.
Yeah, we'll get through it and and then you can go rest and take care of yourself.
Yes.
Um, I just wanted to say that I was wondering earlier where your accent came from, and now I know. You're from Mexico City.
Yes.
Uh, so yo hablo español también.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
where did you learn?
My parents are from South America. My dad's from Chile and my mom's from Bolivia. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up in the United States, but
Uh-huh.
grew up with Spanish as my first language. Hmm.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
nice.
Yeah.
I came when I was 20, so
Oh, really?
yeah. Hmm.
So that's a big change, I imagine.
It is a big change, especially
Yeah.
because, like I said, the language. So I learned at the same time that I was getting my bachelor's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I never took like English classes or anything, so it was,
Wow. Congratulations. That's not
yeah,
easy to do.
it's not.
No, holy cow. That's yeah, that's tough. And English is a tough language to learn too.
It is, yeah.
And while you're studying, ooh, that must
Mhm.
have been just like that much more challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but
Wow.
thank you.
And you're you speak it very well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's
Thank you.
I just thought your accent was so pretty and I was just like, I wonder where she's from. And then you said it and I was like, oh, okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh, okay, sorry for all the questions. Let's get through this so you can go rest. Um, okay. Um, do you want to quickly debrief before, or do you want to just debrief both of them how we felt it went at the end?
Uh, or we can do it now,
Okay,
ours, and then at the end of your video, we can do the same thing.
perfect. Okay. So how do you think it went? How did you feel, or did you feel, yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, I feel like you were really pay attention to what I was saying.
Mhm.
You were acknowledging my um uh like the way I'm feeling. That's what I kind of felt.
Mhm.
And you also recognize that like my situation, it's not
Mhm.
helping. I mean, it's stressful and um I don't know, I just feel comfortable talking to you, and I was able to open to be like, like open and
Mhm.
um
Good. I'm glad.
yeah.
Um, what
Your
I
suggestions
mhm.
were really, I mean, it's really good ideas, and that's something I'm gonna be contemplating. Um, for sure, that's something I'm gonna start working on.
um Thanks for that feedback. I'm curious as to I was trying to figure out how to give more information rather than just give suggestions, but I was having a hard time with that. Um, did you did you feel like there was like advice being given without permission, or if like that it was, I don't know. Do you feel like there could have been something more in the information giving piece, or would you have liked to have more information, or what could that have looked like?
No, I mean, the Latino community is really good. It was like a really good information, and I mean, that's what it's gonna help my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you said, to socialize, and because I don't want her to feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking to someone who speaks the same language,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna make her feel good and probably more confident. So that was a really good advice.
Oh, good. One thing I heard myself, and then I was like, dang it, I wish I wouldn't have said that, was the thing about like Uber or cabs, because I didn't know anything about you, and so I feel like it kind of came off as an assumption that that could be a possibility, without getting to know you better first to see
Mm-hmm.
like where you were coming from. And then when you said, well, actually there's the language barrier, and then all this stuff, and then I was like, oh, like I should have, like, I feel like that was giving kind of advice, not knowing enough about your situation, because some people might not be able to afford cabs or Uber or the language barrier like you talked about. And so
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I kind of uh, gave information based on maybe um, maybe kind of enclosed information, like,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know enough about you to
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
make that. So I caught, like, after I said it, I was like, dang it, I wish I wouldn't have said that. Like,
Oh.
'cause it just felt like it, because you never know. Like that was more. It just kind of, I felt like I should have gotten to know you a little bit more before just jumping to that could be an option.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I see your point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But it was a really good idea. So,
Well, thank you for the feedback. Um, okay, I feel good about moving on to the next one. Do you?
yes.
Okay, and then that way we can just be done. Okay, I've been trying to think of what to go with, so I'm ready whenever you are.
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, hi.
I well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and I really appreciate you being here. Um, do you want to share um,
Mhm.
is there
Yeah,
anything any special you'd like to talk about?
yeah. This I feel like this isn't that big of a deal, but it's something that I've been really thinking about lately, and I haven't really talked to anybody about it. Um, so I've been a vegetarian for about 25 years. Well, I guess I'm almost 40, so probably even longer, maybe almost, like, yeah, I guess 25, almost 30 years. And it's just been my lifestyle. Um, but recently, I've been thinking that I want to change my diet and lifestyle to go to be vegan. Um, and I don't know if you're familiar with vegan diet, but that means no animal products, no cheese, no dairy, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to decide, like, I'm going back and forth because I think it'll be healthier for me, because I've been noticing that I like that dairy. I don't eat meat, but I still eat dairy, and that dairy is affecting me. Like, it makes me. I think I've been feeling kind of tired and groggy, like just not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like it might help, but it's also, I have 3 kids, and then I have to make different foods because they're still going to want to eat cheese and all that stuff. But it's my health, and I'm just struggling with deciding whether to do it for myself or to do it for my whole family. And then I hear from other people, oh, like this and that, it's going to be hard because it requires a lot of planning and a lot of thinking about it. But from the things that I've read and studied and just what my own body is telling me, I feel like it's probably a good idea. But I just don't know if I don't know how to start and where to go from there. The ideas in my head, but I'm just struggling with the, do I do it? Do I do it for my kids too and just make the change for all of us? And I don't know how to reach a decision around it. And like I said, I know it's not that big of a deal in the big picture maybe, but it is if it's going to make me feel healthier and if it's going to, like, I want to be just more aware of the foods that we eat and that stuff. But then there's all this other stuff that's so good with cheese and and stuff. So I guess it's just kind of trying to decide whether or not to do it. And I don't know how to make that decision. Like, I don't know what more information I need or where to turn or who to where to get that information to make that decision, and whether or not I should bring my kids into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I understand that you're gonna feel healthier if you change your eating habits, and I understand that this change is very important for yourself, but you are not very sure if that's gonna help your children. So I wonder if you have talked to any nutritionist about this.
I haven't. I guess I didn't even think about that.
Uh-huh.
That's a pretty good idea. Um, yeah, and I haven't, because I guess I just kind of I was like, I'm a vegetarian already. Like I know enough. But as I'm talking about this, I'm realizing that that's my struggle. I don't know enough to be able to make my decision.
Uh-huh.
So a nutritionist, that's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna write that down.
And probably they can help you on how to start and how how this is gonna benefit not only yourself but your children, and probably they can give you good advice on what changes can you start doing.
Yeah, I could see that. They're the experts in food.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, I like that. I guess part of it too is just figuring out how to be disciplined. The discipline part. Change is hard. Change is hard, even when you know it might be the right thing for you.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're gonna involve your children on these changes. And I'm not sure what age are they. I mean, if this is gonna be something healthy for them.
Right, and they're from 7 to 14, so it's a wide range, and yeah, I guess that too has been one of my hesitations. Like, is it something that, like, how much do I need to change and be prepared for in order to make sure that they're getting the health benefits and nutrition that they need.
I see someone.
Speaking of, so yeah, you're right. I definitely have to consider them and how it could affect them, or what it should look like for them, because I imagine it would look different for them because their bodies are growing and their brains are developing, whereas I'm an adult and I get to make my own choices too. And how do I incorporate it for it to be their choice? I mean, we've had conversations about it, and I want them to eat the foods that make them feel good.
Especially if they're growing and they need all this like vitamins and this, I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate it talking to you, because like I said, I mean, I know that there's nutritionists out there, but I didn't even think that maybe that's where I should start, just because I felt like, oh, I know a lot about food. I know, but obviously I'm struggling with making the decision. So talking to someone who is who's an expert around that, so I can make an informed decision. So that feels good. That feels really good.
Yeah. And it's okay if I suggest something else?
Yeah, please.
I don't know if they have like a primary care. I'm not sure what kind of insurance they have, but probably you can call your insurance and ask them, who are the providers they can see, or probably they can give you like a list of all the providers who take the insurance that they have. Probably that's gonna be easier for you to find someone.
Excellent. That's great. Yeah, I mean, that's what their providers do, right? They connect you to all those resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that either. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. That's very helpful. I feel good about walking away from our conversation. I feel like I'm taking away some valuable information that I honestly didn't even think about before. It didn't. I figured I could figure it out on my own, is what I thought.
Oh, okay.
That's really what I thought. And now in talking to you, I'm realizing like I don't have to. I don't have to figure it out on my own. I can.
No, they can help you.
Yeah, exactly.
They can help you. You don't have to handle
all
the stress by yourself.
Yeah, because it is kind of
professionals. They know what's best for your children and for yourself.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Oh, you're
welcome. Okay, we did it.
We did it.
We did it. Okay, let's just do a quick debrief so that said that your piece is done, and then we can be done, and I'll just turn it in. So what are you doing? I, similar to what you said, I felt really comfortable talking to you. I felt like you were listening, and I kind of feel like I talked a little bit in circles, but you were able to focus it in and just kind of get right to the piece of it, which I guess for me, I didn't realize that it was the big part of my struggle is figuring out the part about my kids, and that's where a lot of my hesitation is coming from. And it seemed like you kind of like zoned in on that right away. Like, I don't know if it was from the way I was talking, but somehow like you kind of were able to figure that piece out really fast. Because then when you were offering suggestions, it was around my kids, and I was like, oh, like that's where I'm struggling. Like that's where, because for me, I can do whatever for me, but so I felt listened to, and I felt like you just kind of understood where I was coming from, and that felt good.
It's funny because I feel the opposite. I feel like I just jump in and I didn't like explore if you have talked to them, or how do they feel about these changes, and how do you feel about I don't know, getting involved on this.
Oh, oh, that's
Yeah, so
that's
I just kind
interesting.
of, here's the answer. I
Uh-huh.
feel like I didn't let you
Uh,
talk more about it.
oh, that's interesting. And I guess I could see where you're going with that. But at the same time, like I said, I feel like you just kind of, I didn't know if it was just a vibe you got or just the way I was talking, but really that's where my hesitation is. And I feel like you just kind of like zoom, like you just hit on it. And I don't know, I get, maybe it was coincidental. Um, but it felt like the suggestions you made were what I needed.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, and maybe it's to just kind of the way you talk, like I, you have a kind of calm, like presence, and just kind of like a comfortable, like if you seem like an easy person to talk to. So it didn't feel intimidated. It didn't feel like, you were saying, this is what you should do. Like at all, like it felt like genuine, like suggestions.
Oh,
Um, so it felt good.
uh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, I think we did a good job, and I feel like you asked permission and then you also gave information, um, which which is what we're aiming for, right?
Mhm.
That's what we were working on. So I feel like you did both. Yeah. Is there anything else?
No, I just want to mention that you did excellent job at asking for permission. I didn't feel like I was like asking for permission. I just,
Uh,
oh, yeah,
uh, I think you did ask for permission, I guess the second, like towards the second.
the second,
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
when I said it, I was like, oh, probably I should just say it in a different way.
Mhm.
Uh,
That's, yeah, and I guess that could look different. I guess I'm not sure. I guess in exploring more too, like figuring out, because I didn't feel like you were giving advice without. It didn't feel like you didn't ask for permission.
okay.
So I know you didn't actually say, like in the beginning, like, can I, or would it be okay? But it didn't feel imposing. Like it
Okay.
didn't feel like you were imposing your suggestions. Um, because you did say, have you talked to a nutritionist? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it was kind of like led by a question. So maybe that's why it didn't feel like it was without permission.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think overall, both sessions went really well.
I feel the same. I
Okay,
feel the
good.
same. Yeah.
So I will turn them in